And what's up, guys? Welcome back to the Disorderly Podcast. When's the last time we've done? It's been, what, like mid-December or something? It's been a while.
It's probably been a month, at least.
Yeah. Well, we're back. So, we are halfway through January. What better time to recap the best films of 2017? We could do... all right, so I think you said you wanted to spend less time on TV. We could do TV and just kind of like, fly through it, give our list or whatever, but then dive deeper into the films. I feel like films were interesting, particularly from our perspective, because we only had one crossover as well. So you're going to get a lot of film recommendations from 2017. So it's good to spend more time on that. But if you want to start with TV, I guess what we could do, and it's up to you, but if you want to just do like the 10 through 6, like real fast, and I'll do mine, and then you do your top 5, I do my top 5, and then we move on.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, I already opened up the... Let's see, I opened up the article because I had to remind myself what were our picks.
Right.
And I don't know what happened, but one of the videos is already down. So I'm like, incredible. You know what I mean?
Oh, I see it. Fargo. Yeah.
They just started yanking their own videos down.
I guess, yeah. Because I'm sure you got that from whatever FX's YouTube channel. Yeah. So.
All right. Good move.
I don't know if that's a good sign or a bad sign. That was one of my picks. I don't know if it's good they're yanking down the seasons, but all right, you go first then. Just start with 10 and just, I guess, rattle them off 10 through 6.
Let's see. All right. So I went 10 Future Man, Hulu. Strong first season, loved it. Let's see.
I watched that after the fact, by the way, after you recommended it. I think you did the review on it, and I watched it. And yeah, it was fun.
Absolutely. 9, let's see. Punisher, Netflix. Let's see, 8 Billions. Do you watch Billions?
No, so that's another one. Actually, I have a bone to pick, and it applies to TV, but it's not on there. I just saw Showtime real quick, and it reminded me. I have this weird thing when I start watching a show, I just have to complete it, and I continue to watch Shameless, and I haven't enjoyed it in years. This season's not good, and I right before this call started, I have 10 minutes left in the new episode, and I just can't not watch it. So Showtime just gave me this weird flashback. But I've heard good things about Billions.
So you have the ability to watch Billions, but you're not watching it.
Correct. Yeah. I didn't even know it was on season 2. I feel like the whole thing snuck up on me, and then all of a sudden I started hearing it everywhere. But yeah, I have to watch it.
It's one of the sneaky best shows on TV that no one watches.
Yeah, I love the cast. I like Paul Giamatti. I like the guy from I know him from Band of Brothers, but he's in what?
Damian Lewis.
Yeah. What's the
Homeland?
Yeah, another show that I don't watch that I've heard good things about, but
that's fine. But yeah, no, it's incredible. If you get Damon Martin, our buddy, long time friend of the site, if you get Damon Martin talking about Billions, he'll talk your ear off. But a weird fun fact about Billions is that Renzo Gracie coaches often make appearances. There was a segment where one of the brown belts, no, he's a black belt now, Coach Roman. So this is a fun fact. This is a fun trivia fact. The first time I ever rolled, because I started jiu-jitsu no gi, which is the wrong way to do it. And I didn't start training in the gi until I moved to New York. And I started training at Renzo's. And the first person that they had me roll with in a gi is now a black belt. But at the time, he was a brown belt. One of the coaches, Roman, and I can't remember his last name. But he looks like a scary kind of Russian mobster. So this is the first guy. I'm 23, 24 years old or whatever. In New York, just roll with him. He just destroyed me. You know what I mean? I've never been in a gi, so he murders me anyway.
Right. What's the reason? Do you know the reason behind? Are the producers?
They must have some connection or something. One of the guys must train there, because I was like, is that Coach Roman? And
so you're just watching and not expecting this, and all of a sudden it's that's the first guy I rolled with?
Yeah, if you do a deep dive on my Twitter, you can probably find my tweet, because I think I took a screenshot. And they had a whole segment last season. They had a whole where Paul Giamatti's character is trying to get his manhood back and all this craziness, and he starts training in jiu-jitsu. And he starts training at Renzo's. And he's training with John Danaher, who is one of the great minds of jiu-jitsu right now.
Did you watch his Rogan appearance?
I did, man. I actually finished it today.
I just started it, and I haven't finished it yet, but just even reading through the comments, people are like, this is the Like, this is seriously one of the best discussions on like martial arts that's ever been had.
Dude, the crazy thing is, when I started at Henzo's, they put you in like a white belt room. And one of the black belts I had, like a Sapo, like Rafael Natal, like longtime UFC vet,
right,
was kind of my coach. You know, I'd go, every night or whatever, and he's my coach. And John Danaher, so like the white belt room at Henzo's, it's like a smaller space, because they have the big, like, everyone's kind of seen it. It's like this big open room, which is like the main training room. But you had to basically grade out of this like white belt romper room. And they didn't kind of want you to take general classes with the Gen Pop until they like really work with you. And that model, I've seen it at like Art of Jiu-Jitsu. I've seen it at other gyms. So I think it's a good model. But they kind of keep you in this like little like tight-knit cluster of people. And it's in the same room as their weight room. So you've got like a mat. I don't know. It's like, I don't know, probably the size of like a 1-bedroom apartment, maybe smaller than that kind of, I mean, it's like not huge, not a ton of square footage, but they've got a weight room to the side. And every night, because I think the white belt class started at like 7:30, 8 o'clock, something like that, he would come in, Danaher, wearing his rash guard, and shorts, and he would work out and just stare at us. You know what I mean? Just watch us fail over and over again. And it was the most like eerie, kind of like unsettling thing. And I think a lot of the dudes are just like New York bankers. They're just, they don't know, they don't care. But I'm like, that's Danaher, dude. Danaher's just staring at me. And I remember drilling like 6 inches from him.
I wonder if he like gets something from that, where like he's like watching these people like learn who have no experience and they're failing. But I wonder if that's like some sort of weird teaching moment in his own brain. I don't. Once you're on that level, who knows how that guy's brain works? But
I don't know, man. But I remember he just that dead-eyed stare, and you would see he's watching you. Like, he's not just staring into the distance; he's like watching you.
Right.
Because like between sets, he's like just sitting there watching you, and you're like, all right, because Sapo or whoever. Usually we had like 1 to 2 instructors, and they're walking around, they're trying to help people, but like you're just trying to drill with some stranger, and this dude is just staring at. Like, it's crazy. It was a crazy. Like, I'll never forget that feeling. Jeez. But yeah. So that's Billions. A little fun fact. Billions. But he's in Billions, so go watch Billions.
Danaher is too.
Yeah, he's Paul Giamatti's like coach. He's like it's like not. Like, Giamatti is taking like one-on-one lessons with Danaher, which is like insane. And like his one-on-one partner is like, I don't even want to go into it, but because it could be a potential spoiler. But
yeah, no, I'll definitely watch it. Cause I have, man, it's one of those weird things where like I don't even have cable, but my parents have it, and I can go on to Xfinity.com or whatever and like access Showtime, whatever. So I do have access to it, but it's also not like super convenient. So it's not like I'm like flipping through the channels. I'm gonna find it, but. I that is a show I keep hearing about. I gotta seek it out.
Watch Billions. 7 Stranger Things. Put it in there. We've talked at length about it. All right, number 6, The Marvelous Miss Maisel. Listen,
another one I watched, by the way.
Did you watch it after this? Okay,
per my recommendation. I've been recommending it to like everybody too. I loved it.
Listen, dude. I mean, I don't have to tell you. I don't have to say listen, I guess. But like, I thought I'd have to come on here defending Miss Maisel.
No.
Like, dude, it is legit. It's pretty good. I mean, it won how many Golden Globes? And I thought, there's going to be some back. But I mean, it's funny because in our circles of people we follow are fairly ruthless, like meathead MMA people on Twitter. And I see some random like, what's really good? Marvelous Miss Maisel. You know what I mean?
You know what it is? It's the name. Like it. The name sounds like it's like something like Gossip Girl or something, but it's like
I was like, that's the worst branding ever.
Yeah, it really isn't a good title.
No, it's horrible, and it's like, but even the press materials and the things that they kind of marketed the show as. I mean, because I pay attention, I watch straight, you know what I mean. But like, I just was like, this is just not at all what I thought it was going to be.
Yeah,
it's incredible. It's kind of this super upper, not even upper. Would you say upper class? Not even upper middle class. I would just say straight upper class. I don't know. What do you think?
Oh yeah, no, for sure. I mean, yeah. How big was that apartment in New York City?
I mean, my God, I was like, this is in New York. I went into $1 million townhouse, and I was like, I've never been in anything like that in New York City.
Right.
You know what I mean? So incredible, but it's basically kind of about this young woman who is probably she's like 4 years into a marriage, 5 years into her marriage, something like that. She's got 2 kids, and she's kind of like just a gangster like housewife, and just kind of like a badass bitch. And she's just her husband is kind of like an unhappy executive type at her father-in-law's company or her father's company, something like that, right?
I think it's his father's company.
His father's company, right? And he's like, I don't even do anything all day. I just sit in my office. I've got a secretary. I don't do anything. I was like, this is incredible. Where do I sign? I mean, are you kidding me? Yeah. Dog. I was like, where do I get this job? And but he has this like passion where he wants to be like a stand-up comedian. So they go down into the village, which back in the day was like, oh man, that's, sketchy. They smoke a reefer and, you know what I mean? It's, but that's where all the seedy comedy clubs were. Now it's full of like $3 million condos and Jake Gyllenhaal like running around drinking like $10 coffees and shit.
Well, it was even shocking that it was like, look, like a real live lesbian. Like that was like a moment in the thing. They're like, wow, I guess we're in the village, Like that was like, it was like that kind of like shock. Because when does this actually take place, by the way?
It takes place, I think, in the 50s.
50s, okay, that makes sense. It's obviously old. I just didn't know.
Yeah, I want to say the 50s, and because it's not quite. It almost looks 40s era, but the clothes and everything is 50s. And
plus like 1950s, like housewife is like definitely what they're going for. But
no,
you can figure it out too. Who's the famous comic that?
God.
Yeah, I don't remember. There's like the first guy, the guy who like bails her out of jail or whatever.
Right. No, exactly.
That guy like is I forget who it was, but whoever that is, it's like a real guy. So you can just figure out when he was famous.
Man.
But
he's right on the tip of my tongue, but he's a super famous comedian.
Yeah. It's like a name that I've heard a million times just listening to like different comedians and podcasts.
It's killing me.
How are you Googling it? Out of curiosity, what did you type in?
Comedian,
I guess you type in the cast.
Comedian in Marvelous Miss Maisel. But I should do just do cast.
Yeah.
Luke Kirby, okay, so he played oh my god, he's the actor in it. Are you doing this to me?
They're not even having dude, this is just good podcasting right here. People are wondering. People are probably like screaming too.
Oh, absolutely. Lenny Bruce, there you go.
Lenny Bruce, thank you. All right,
God.
So when was Lenny Bruce big is the next question.
Well, that's the next. I don't have all day to Google that.
It should have like active career stuff or whatever. Well, he died at 40 in 1966. He's probably like his 20s or whatever. So probably 50s. So there we go. I bet you also if we Google Marvelous Miss Maisel, it would say like right at the top line would probably say like it took place in the 50s or whatever.
The series follows a housewife in 1958.
Yeah. All right.
Wow, way later than I thought. I thought earlier 50s, but whatever. Right.
No, I know. So it was fantastic though. Like I liked it a lot. Incredible. Even though the writing, like her stand up routines or her rant, like were genuinely funny, which I think is hard to write comedy. Like if you see that a lot, like a lot of people just completely botch stand up comedy shows. I actually really like Crashing. It was like right outside my top 10, the HBO show of P. Holmes. But for the most part, like stand-up comedy shows, I feel like they fall short a lot because you're trying to write a script and then like have them perform comedy, but it takes the rawness out of it, whatever. They did a great job, I thought, with all the stand-up.
Yeah, Rachel Brosnahan. She's the kind of a star as Midge. Holy shit.
She won, right?
Won the Golden Globe.
Yeah, Golden Globe,
so they won best comedy. They won for TV series, but comedy or musical. And then I think Handmaid's Tale won for the drama. I think, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Sound right? All right. Let's see. Moving on.
Or I could start my top.
Oh, that's right. Okay, I hit 5. All right, go ahead.
Yeah,
give me your
I don't know how to do it. It's hard to like list 10 different. It's like I was running this problem with MMA too, where it's like you don't want to just go through the list of every single fight because it gets like drawn out, whatever. So this breaks it up a little, I guess, but. Number 10 for me was American Vandal, which I loved. And have you seen like any of the? Did you watch that, by the way?
I tried to make it through the first. I think I made it. I think I watched the first episode.
Did you watch like Making a Murderer or any of those?
No, I did. I love Making a Murderer.
Yeah. So I
you know what?
Didn't hook you. All right. Well, I loved it. The second season's coming too. I don't know what.
So where does it go? Because I'm in the first episode and I'm like, all right. Like you're watching them deliver like Postmates and stuff. Like and it leaves you on the cliffhanger of did the guy get a hand job or something? Right? Is that where it leaves you in the first episode?
I don't remember like where in the first, but yeah, there's definitely a part of it. So if you remember that, probably. But basically, what it was for me is obviously a joke. Like the whole thing's like a spoof. It's not a real documentary or whatever. But like I ended up I thought it was funny, and like, especially like it's almost like one of those things. Like as the joke like kept going, it became funnier and funnier. The whole plot of like who drew these dicks, but then also you really get like invested in who actually did this kid do it or not. Like I feel like I was actually invested in it as a fictional plot. Like I liked it.
Is the kid? Funny, the kid is so unlikable to me that I'm almost
bully kid.
The main character, the kid who's the accused.
Oh right, yeah.
I'm like, how old is this kid? 30?
Yeah. Well, I forget the exact backstory too, but like these kids were doing like Funny or Die videos for a while, and then this is like their big break, and it kind of blew up or whatever.
All right.
But yeah, I don't know. Punisher. That's
Punisher?
yours. That's yours.
Yeah,
sorry.
you're go ahead.
Number 9, Fargo. Oh, Fargo's up there. Wait, so Billions is the one that lost its trailer.
Billions, eh?
Yeah, it's below Fargo.
Wow.
I see that. Yeah, Fargo's wow.
Showtime.
Yeah, so Fargo season 3. Fargo's like pretty much always on my list. I don't know how to rank between the seasons because they're all kind of like standalones. But I thought season 3 was good. Didn't Ewan McGregor win a Golden Globe for that too? I think he might have.
He did. So
he played 2 roles, so it's kind of a cheating. But
go for it.
Yeah, he's great. I loved it. And then who's that? There's the girl from. She's like the co-star in this, but she's also like married to. Yeah, is that her name?
Yeah.
She's also isn't she somehow involved? She's in like a Portugal the Man song. That song. God, it's killing me right now. I feel like I should have like looked half this stuff up.
Mary Elizabeth Winstead, something like that. Is that her name?
Yeah, I think it is. And she's in that Portugal the Man song from the new album. Which, by the way, speaking of Portugal the Man or any new albums, I was the only person that did the top 10 CDs, which we'll get to. Or CDs, jeez.
Yeah, I can't listen to music. I mean, I listen to music that's like 30 years old.
Yeah, I will say like the music. I mean, for the most part, same thing with like new music. I don't listen that much. Those are probably like up there for the only 10 albums I listened to this year. Now they were selected. I didn't just like randomly find them on the street or something. Like I picked those 10 albums, so they're still the 10 best albums in my opinion, unless it's just something I haven't heard. But it really was like, here's the 10 albums I listened to in 2017. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't like I had to narrow it down like I did with TV or movie or anything. But Noise Pollution. She's like in that song. Yeah, Mary Elizabeth Winstead's in that song doing vocals, like background vocals, which is an interesting thing.
So she married. So all right. So hold on a second.
No, I think I'm confused because his wife, Zoe Manville, is the lead singer's wife, and she also does the background vocals. I think Mary Elizabeth Winstead might just be a friend or something. I don't know. Like I don't think she's a singer though, but she is in that song. She's in the music video and everything.
So you're telling me that a very attractive female actress found a way to do backing vocals for a semi-familiar band?
Yeah, shocking. I don't know.
I mean, pretty impressive.
Breaking down walls.
Pretty impressive.
Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. No, go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say that the part she sings is not even really singing; it's kind of just talking. So
I'm gonna give you some vocal range. I'm gonna give you a song tip.
Okay.
Look it up on YouTube. Find the HQ version. This is what I'm listening to. I listen to like 90s music. That's all I listen to for the kids. K's Choice, Not an Addict.
K's Choice, Not an Addict. Is that your song of the year 2017?
That's my podcast song. That's right. That's my song of the day.
All right.
Check it out.
If
you've ever heard that song, I'd be shocked.
I'll let you know.
All right.
But I'm not going to do it now, but I'll do it after.
No, go for it.
And then just as a shout out, because we're not going to get into it, album of the year, I had Kendrick Lamar's Damn. I think he's brilliant. So,
way to spoil it. You could have pitched it so much. You could have dangled it.
We don't have a music website. I keep trying to force music into the disorderly, and you're not even going to put the time in to do it.
Well, I can't listen to music.
Yeah, sad.
You want to listen to me talk about Bush?
Yes.
I'll talk about Bound to the Floor and stuff. That's what I'm listening to.
All right, that'd be great. You should do a throwback top 10. Moving on. Elias Grace, which I think you actually had because we were talking about whether Black Mirror would be included or whatever, and you said you almost don't qualify that because that's standalone episodes, but it's also like kind of a mini series. Elias Grace is the same thing where it's like a mini series or limited series. So I don't know what it applies, but I loved it.
No, totally different.
Just because it's not. So you mean Black Mirror because each episode's its own thing?
Yeah, well, like it'd be like 4 episode of Black Mirror with no continuity. I wouldn't throw that into like a TV top 10.
Yeah.
To me, it's not really a TV show.
True, but it technically is, and it's like one of the best. So I don't know how to.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Are they TV shows?
I don't know. What would
Add
you
us
call
on
them?
Twitter. I wouldn't say Black Mirror's a TV show.
Yeah,
It's just a product. I don't know what it is, but it doesn't fit in any of these boxes. You know what I'm talking about?
No, I do agree. So yeah, Elias Grace, I guess, is more in the category of like a Fargo, where it's it's a mini series. Presumably, there's only one season of it, but then again, you have like Big Little Lies. They ended up extending it for two. So who knows? But Elias Grace should be a one and done. That's it. Just a little mini series. It snuck up on me. I thought it was great. It's by the same lady. The lady who wrote the book Elias Grace, Margaret Atwood, is the same lady who wrote the book Handmaid's Tale.
Right.
So she's blowing up in TV right now, and I thought the main actress in it was amazing. And then
Which
even
is
like
wild.
What?
Because those books are like 30, 40 years old, aren't
right,
they?
and all of a sudden they're like cutting edge streaming TV service like stuff, and like it's crazy. It's weird. But yeah, brilliant. And they both look boring on the surface too, because I mean that's a matter of opinion. But for me, like The Handmaid's Tale, like just the way they look, it looks bleak, it looks boring.
Totally.
But they're not. They're all like kind of like pretty dark, have twists to them, like kind of really thoughtful concepts. Like they're good. I don't want to spoil anything, but yeah, the last episode of Elias Grace, it's worth it just to get to that point. I think if you've seen it, yeah. But
my parents had a copy of The Handmaid's Tale on our bookshelf for my entire life.
That seems like as a child, there's no way you'd
Yep.
consider picking that up.
It just there's nothing about like it's got the chicks in the garb that has now become iconic, and it's just I think she's, I don't know, the old cover they had is her kind of walking up or down like a spiral staircase, kind of dressed like a pilgrim wife, and you're like,
that
all
sounds
right.
boring.
Yeah, not interested.
But it's fantastic. And by the way, that wasn't on the list because I didn't actually finish it until after this, but it probably would be. It'd probably sneak into my top 10 at this point.
I'm still way behind. I finished the first episode and then I was like, oh man, all right, I gotta take a.
Well, that's the one where I didn't realize I had Hulu for a while, and all of a sudden I realized I did, and I was like, oh, because my sister like bought it on DVD or something. So like I was like going home to watch it, but it's like a half an hour away, so it was taking me forever to get through it. And then I realized I had Hulu, and I like blew through it in a weekend. But anyway, so number 7, I had The Punisher. It's a little bit higher than you, but it was on both of our lists. And then number 6, Narcos, which I was pleasantly surprised by. I really liked Pablo Escobar. I thought, I don't know if it's even, whatever. Spoiler, I guess. I don't know. Pablo Escobar is no longer with us. So season 3 was the first season that like moved on from him, and I thought it was excellent. Like I was worried about it. I didn't know if they'd be able to maintain. I thought the Cali Cartel was the focus of this one. They're fantastic. I thought it was great. So I was really impressed with that.
I'm bummed because I think I got to I remember watching it in California. So this is 2015 when I was watching the first season. I don't know what happened. I liked it. It's another casualty of couple viewing. You know what I mean? Where like you fall out of it because like it's something you're watching.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Huge argument with my roommate and her boyfriend.
Right.
She went on ahead of him, and he was not happy. Yeah, she had to pretend. For a while, she realized she was like, I just had to pretend like I watched this. So then she had to like watch it again, which is the most brutal thing. Ooh. If you go ahead and then you have to pretend like you're seeing it for the first time as you're watching it again, that's even worse. You just got to come clean at that point. But yeah, it happens, man. Casualty.
That's true. It is. All right. So what are we doing? Going back to me?
Yeah, sure. Go through your top 5.
All right. Let's see here. 5. Americans. Another incredibly underrated show nobody watches. It's coming to an end because you people. And it's incredible.
I've been in that position with a few shows where it's like, what the hell? Like, why aren't people watching this? I do watch The Americans, by the way. I think I might be a season behind.
Are you okay? All right. I was about to ask.
Yeah, I think.
Just consistently.
I love
so
that guy.
Good.
That guy is like one of the best actors ever. Not Carrie Russell, but her husband or whatever.
The guy, not Carrie Russell.
Do you know who I'm talking about?
I do.
All right, so it makes sense. He's nominated for the Emmys like every single year. He's great.
The whole cast is great. You know what I mean? You know, even the kids. The kids aren't super likable to me, but they're not poorly acted. You know what I mean?
I remember the older daughter I liked a lot. I think she obviously has a more prominent role. She just being the older child, but I thought she was good. But yeah, her arc a little bit. Like, can we get into spoilers from years ago? I don't know.
Go ahead.
Maybe. All right. So her arc where she's like considering ratting out her parents when she finds other spies or whatever. She's hanging out with like that priest guy or whatever. Like that made her so unlikable. But it's not bad acting. It's just an unlikable arc for the character. But like that happens.
Right. I was like, are they going to gank their own kid to cover it up? You know what I mean?
Right, yeah.
Yeah, it added a lot of suspense and tension.
Sure did.
All right, I'm going number 4, which, in retrospect, and I think I even tweeted this, I was like, man, this could be higher for me. Brockmire on IFC. Another film, or another show I guarantee you no one's watched.
Yep.
Yeah, did you watch it?
No, but Hank Azaria, he came on like a Barstool podcast or something to talk about Brockmire, and it's like I got behind the concept. Seemed funny. I watched the trailer. The trailer looks good. That this is a casualty of me not having cable. I'm pretty sure, just like I can see Showtime, I think I could also go through and watch this probably through my parents. I think it's all part of the same.
They probably have an app or something. Yeah,
yeah.
You can figure it out. But I mean, I think it's like it's a pretty quick. I think it's 10, 30-minute episodes or something. Like boom. You know, just very well done, hilarious, and you know, for sports fan, I don't think you need to be a sports fan to appreciate it, but like, it kind of perfectly tackles some of the horrible, depressing minutia that still exist in kind of professional sports. You know what I mean? Like, there's an entire episode where a Japanese, like a former star for the Yankees who's Japanese, is trying to argue with like a 40-year-old baseball player on his own team about it through a translator, and just there's so much miscommunication and lost in translate. I mean, it's incredible. Some of the dynamics that they find are just really hilarious, and it's just an incredible kind of anti-hero character going through like the worst part of his life, you know what I mean? So it's a pretty great watch.
Nice. It'll definitely be on my list, by the way. But
you got to check it out. People, check it out. Sure. Damn it, people. Hank Azaria is he's damn good.
Yeah, I love him. So that's like the biggest selling point to me when he came on Barstool, and I honestly had never even heard of the show at that point. So he came on talking about it.
Didn't get a lot of push. Yeah,
right. I mean, IFC is going to fall through the cracks a little bit, but when I was hearing him, I like him, and I was like, oh, he's in a new show, and the show sounded intriguing, and you know, I'm a fan of his, so it's on the list. I'll get there.
Get out there. All right, number 3.
I finished Shameless.
Whew, give up on it, dude.
I can't. It's like this weird like OCD thing where it's like I'm like 8 seasons in. I just like have to finish. I'm hoping they stop making them. Like that would be ideal if they could just like give me a series finale and I could just check it off the list. But I've
seen enough of like commercials of Shameless.
It's really not
that I'm
good.
just depressed.
It's spiraled out into nothing. First of all, it's like, oh, let's be poor and throw a bunch of chaos at you and it'll be funny. It's like nah. Yeah, it's not. It's really. I gotta back out.
What other show was I into that was like that? Where it was just, I don't know. Like I used to be into Skins. Did you ever watch Skins?
Yep.
Man, I used to be into it.
Watch kids just spiral into like drug abuse. That's fun.
God, yeah.
It was pretty good. I thought though. I actually did like Skins, and it was shorter. I mean, they didn't throw 8 seasons at you.
Yeah. No, I just the fact that it was kind of adopted from an English TV show really kind of cemented it for me that I probably don't need to be watching Shameless.
Shameless is adopted from an English TV show?
Yeah, are you kidding me?
No, I didn't know that.
I knew
Skins was. No, I did.
Are you talking about the American version
I watched
of Skins?
No, I didn't. But that's why. When you said that, I thought you were talking about Skins because I knew that got turned into like an MTV. No, I watched the British version is like on Netflix.
Right.
Got Nicholas Hoult.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Shameless's English version is on there too.
Oh, really?
Are you serious?
No. Where does it take place?
In England.
Oh, like London or something? Because this is in Chicago in the American version. I don't know how. That's interesting. I'll check it out.
How do you watch
I joined
8 seasons of a show?
Late. I don't know, but I joined it late too. I just came in like 5 seasons in, so I don't know. I remember hearing people talk about it.
Before I totally berate you, let me.
What if you're wrong?
I'll own up to it. Yeah, original Shameless UK.
I feel like there's a ton of shows that are based in the UK. Whatever.
You've got to. Oh my god.
Is it worth watching that?
Let's see. Oh, I don't know. Well, it looks like
if it's short, I might check it out just for like the American Office. I went back and watched the British one just to like kind of compare them, but at this point, like the British one's more outdated. Like I didn't think it was as funny.
This is James McAvoy is in it, so I mean.
Oh, jeez.
You know, and I was like, yeah, that looks like him. It's on Hulu, dude. I think it's on Hulu or something. Yeah. I can't believe this. We're having like a moment.
Yeah, news to me.
All right.
It's got good reviews.
It's probably better than the crappy American version.
Probably.
All right.
11 seasons? What'd you just rope me into?
Bro.
Oh, no. Now I've instead of being almost done with Shameless, now I have 11 more seasons I gotta watch. I don't know if I'm gonna start the British version. Maybe an episode.
Season 11, 14 episodes.
Yeah, so that's like long too. I was hoping when it was 11 it'd be like 3. You know, like a lot of the UK shows. Yeah, that's not good. Well, all right.
Oh my god, yeah, dude. How did you not know this existed?
I don't know. I'm not that big of a Shameless guy. I watch a lot of TV shows. It's just like one of the shows I watch, and it's the only one that's currently airing episodes.
I can't even finish shows I like.
Yeah,
and you're out here
same.
watching 8 seasons of Shameless.
Yeah, I mean, I should have stopped like Dexter after season 4, and I didn't. You know, I get stuck. It's not
That's
good.
when I stopped. That's when I stopped, buddy.
Yeah.
I abandoned.
I stopped Walking Dead actually.
I haven't seen it in years.
Yeah, that's like my one like little pat on the back because I managed to walk away from that one. But
I was a comics guy first.
See, I wasn't,
and
so I don't know if that would make it like more disappointing or hook you more because you watched it.
Yeah. Yeah, I was hate watching it for a period because I was like, how are they going to screw this up?
Right.
And then I just couldn't be bothered. It was just too much. It couldn't be bothered. All right, number 3, Mindhunter. Which, was that on your list?
Yeah.
Did we cross over?
Number 4 for me.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, it's just both. I mean, what did you think?
I loved it.
David Fincher.
Yeah, I thought it was great. I was like genuinely intrigued.
10-hour
by
Zodiac.
Serial killers and everything. I thought it was really good.
It was great.
Yeah.
Loved it.
It's on Netflix, and I'm looking forward to there's got to be a second season of it too. I'm assuming.
No, it is. Yeah. No, for sure.
It's already renewed. Yeah. So
I'm moving on because it's one of the bigger ones. Like same thing. Number 2, Game of Thrones. Like how much you want to talk about it?
It was also my number 2. I think everyone already either you don't watch it and you're like a crazy person, or because that is the biggest TV phenomenon going on right now by a mile. It's like of like Lost or like The Sopranos, like that level of just like hype. And honestly, like the thing is, and it almost gets like overlooked at this point because it's like a staple of being so good. But they're literally every Sunday they're giving you like a feature film that is like a good feature film, like on a weekly basis. It's unbelievable what Game of Thrones does. And this is like a setup season, allegedly, for like the big finale season. So it's like if this is a setup, like it was great. It was great. Like every single Sunday, I was satisfied.
Think about the payoffs for some of these poor people that started reading these books like 30 years ago.
Yeah, I can't even imagine that
maybe
aspect.
Not 30 years, but what the first Game of Thrones came out? What 96?
Something.
So
like
not
that.
Quite. Yeah, not.
And we're past the books now, right?
Oh yeah, we're way past it, baby.
Yeah,
we're rocking and rolling. I mean, I remember reading the last book in 2011. What have you been doing?
Yeah,
George, where's my book, George?
I heard I don't know if it's rumors, but I thought I heard that he's coming out with another one like this summer, right?
I don't know, man.
I mean, who's to say? Actually,
I've given up on. Yeah, let me know when it's out, dog.
By the way, saddest thing in the world is how they just get into. People are like, "Oh man, I hope George doesn't die before the series." I was like, "Geez, that's such a bleak thought," but it's just like part of the vernacular of the show. It's like, "Oh man, I hope George R. R. Martin lives to the end of the show." It's like, look how unhealthy he is. That's just like how people talk. I was like, God, it's so mean. But
well, at least there's a guy. Apparently, there's a guy like who has the gist of it.
I think the two creators.
He has been ordained. Well, no. Like I'm talking about the books, Doc.
Okay.
Like there's some guy running around in New Mexico or whatever that is his like little, assistant whatever / writing, like the guy who's responsible for all the continuity. Apparently, you know what I mean. So he knows like what the hell's up. Yeah, I'm sure the publisher knows what's up.
Well, because the two like creators I know how it ends. Because that was like a thing where like I guess there's I heard there was the two of them sat down with George R. R. Martin and he said, "How do you think it ends?" And then they said what their guess was after like studying these books and stuff, and he like confirmed it. But only those two people. So like no matter what happens, even if everyone else is gone, and it's only these two creators, they'll at least like get you to your final destination that George R. R. Martin like intended. And honestly, the creative choices they've made that like differ from the books, I feel like have already been like great. Like it's just a great show, great product.
I'm fine with it if the book is different. If they got two different endings, two different people end up on top at the end, everyone dies, like whatever you want. I don't care. To me,
I trust the writers to bring us home too. I assume the finale will be satisfying. You never know. There's been some disappointing, hyped up finales, but I'm feeling good about it. And by the way, I have no problem because like the big like disappointment is, we're not going to get the last season until 2019 or whatever. Like take your time, man. Well, I'm in no rush. I'd rather it be perfect. Don't rush it out. So if it's like, and they're going to be like literally movies, aren't they like 2 hours each?
Yeah. something like that.
Yeah, so take your time. Give me a great final season and whatever. I can wait till 2019.
Same here. I co-sign. Number 1, Dark. Didn't even make your top 10, I don't think, right?
It did not. Now, I remember you texted me right away and like loved it. I also loved it. It didn't. It was on my list of like considerations. It didn't make my top 10. I think part of it was the circumstances in which I watched it. I was like sick and like in bed, and then it was like an intense show and reading. So I felt like when I was going through it, it was like kind of a chore. But I acknowledge that's great, and it was just like the circumstances I was in. But I know how you felt about it.
I thought it was great. I mean, I really enjoyed it. I love kind of weird takes on time travel and kind of the whole. I just dug the mythology kind of the show and how they're figuring stuff out, and I thought it was really well done. I mean, I'm not going to say too much because you kind of can't.
Yeah,
you can kind of describe
all spoilers
it,
if you want to talk about it.
Yeah, I mean, it just because it's consistent. This is what it's not Lost, which like builds and builds and then snowball disappointment at the end. This like gives you your little tastes of payoffs along the way. Like you learn, like, oh wow, ooh, wow, ooh. So you're learning like as the story goes. So you really can't kind of give it kind of like, by first, second, third, fourth, fifth episodes. It's not just like 8 episodes building to a final 2 episode of craziness.
Yeah. No.
But yeah.
I mean, I thought it was great. The time travel is just a fun like concept too, but it's hard to do without like, you really got to make things make sense because it's easy to like get lost in the lineage of things or whatever and like kind of screw up your whole plot. And I feel like they did a great job, just attention to detail. It was fun. They didn't bog you down with like, so I think sometimes they try to over explain why things are whatever. They like did it subtly enough, but also everything tied together. It was great. I thought it was great.
Yeah. No, I like the whole plot devices and how they did it. There was no kind of, I don't want to get into it, but I liked how they handled the ludicrousness of the whole thing.
Yeah,
that's it for me. Go for it.
All right, I'm starting with 5, right? So
yep.
5. By the way, and we can figure this out, but this almost might make more sense to split this into like 2 different episodes, right? Just on timing, or do you want to do one long one? It's up to you. We can do like a TV episode, a movie. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't think movies is gonna. I think we can go through movies quicker almost. I don't know.
Maybe. I mean, it's literally less content. Anyway, we'll just get through it. So, number 5 for me, Peaky Blinders season 4. It was actually weird because I started making my list before I watched this because it came out so late in the year. I think it came out in November or whatever for like in the UK on BBC or whatever. But then when the Netflix release was obviously when I watched it, it was like really late in the year. So I had it written and I just like. What I was doing basically was like, oh, where is this going to land in my top 10? Like, I knew it would be in there somewhere because I love the first 3 seasons. This one was still cool, really well done, really stylistic or whatever. Lower than I maybe originally thought. I thought I'd be like a top 3, but there were parts of the season I didn't like. It's still like top 10 for me, or 5, whatever, But the Adrian Brody, for some reason, like really rubbed me the wrong way in this. It looked like he was doing like a caricature, like he looked like he was doing an impression of like Marlon Brando in The Godfather, where he like had a toothpick in every scene. He had his hat like tilted. I was like, it was like really, I don't know, wasn't great.
I haven't seen it. Like I've seen the first season like years ago. That's the extent of my.
Oh, so you've never even seen Tom Hardy? He doesn't come out.
No, I have because I have seen him. So what is that? Season 2?
Season 2, yeah.
So maybe I got in like first 2 episodes, something like that. I remember he's like but like I'm fascinated by Adrian Brody. The concept of someone like him, where you kind of can win an Oscar, but then just do absolute shit.
Right.
You know what I mean? And spend like the next, like, what is that existence like?
What did he win for? The Pianist?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is that like?
Yeah, I don't know. Like you would think he'd had the trajectory of being this prestigious actor, and he really hasn't done anything since. It's worth, by the way, it's worth checking out if you're not worried about spoilers or whatever. Just try to like YouTube like clips of him in this show. It's maybe I might not be even. I don't know if other people even agree with me. I didn't read other like reviews of the show or whatever. But it was like cartoonish how he's portraying like this Italian gangster guy. Like it looked like if someone. Like a drama kid in like high school was doing his Italian gangster, but this is like an Oscar winner.
Like
it was
Guys and
so
Dolls
weird.
or something.
Yeah, it was so like he would literally be in shootout scenes where he'd be like walking around with, like Tommy guns, but he'd have like a toothpick in his mouth, and he was like talking like I can't even explain. The whole thing was like so corny to me. I don't know, and it just sucks because the rest of that cast is brilliant. Tom Hardy kills it, like literally one of my favorite, and I'm a huge Tom Hardy fan. But in that show, like the character he plays in Peaky Blinders is amazing. Cillian Murphy's another one of my favorite actors. Like I love the show, but I don't know. I literally laughed at like multiple parts of the Adrian Brody performance.
That sucks. It just
that's
takes
the only
you out
reason,
of it,
right? And that's the only, and he's like the main bad guy in this season or whatever. So it's like the only reason that it wasn't higher on my list. 'Cause I still loved everything I loved about Peaky Blinders was also in season 4, but Adrian Brody kind of killed it for me. But yeah, unfortunate. Number 4 on my list is Mindhunter, which we already went into. It was number 3 for you. Number 3 for me was Big Little Lies. I loved it. That's like not even like a genre I normally necessarily get behind, but it is awesome. Like Nicole Kidman, it sucks by the way the award season works, where she's like they're still winning in the Golden Globes even though they're not up for the Emmys this year. Like that's just, I feel like the Golden Globes should be like the start leading up to the Emmys. So the fact that this is like some leftover bullshit where it's like I don't know, it doesn't really matter. I guess, but.
Explain the concept of the show. I don't have any idea other than what I've seen in previews. This is about rich chicks.
Well,
like
yeah. Well, the
what is
big
going on?
too.
Because all I hear is like how incredible it is, but I have no idea what's going on.
I mean, if you had to attach like a general overarching theme to it or whatever, it'd be like, you know, like women empowerment or something like that. And I think that's why it's such like a hot topic thing in like all the award ceremonies now. But each individual story has its own thing going on, like Reese Witherspoon's like having an affair or whatever. This is all like not even spoilers, like you find out immediately. Nicole Kidman's in an abusive relationship, like things like that. So you don't really, so like everyone has their own like different arc, but it's just really well done. They're all tied together. That's kind of hard to explain without like getting into spoilers. But Nicole Kidman's performance is like what really stole it for me. And I mean, she's winning all the awards too, but she should. I remember like watching it being like, there's no way. Because there's like scenes, and this actually will tie into my top pick too. I think the hardest thing to do as an actor is to like play different levels. Like say you're like somebody who, because she's like a strong woman exterior, like she has like a really important job and she's like respected in the community or whatever. But she's also like weak because she's being abused by this guy. So she's like, you see scenes where she's like putting on a strong exterior, but like definitely like hurting inside. But like as an actress, that's like 3 different levels where it's like she has to play someone who's weak but pretending to be strong. Like the whole thing is like, it's literally one of the best acting performances I've seen in a long time. And
she's a killer, man.
Yeah, she's incredible. So, and then I just like Reese Witherspoon. I'm actually not that big of a Shailene Woodley guy, but Laura Dern does good. The whole cast is great. Alexander Skarsgård, that whole family does crazy stuff, but like he's great too. Adam Scott's the odd man out, but I thought he was funny. It's good. I don't know. It's good. It's just a really good show, and I didn't expect to like it. That's one I was watching with my roommate actually, and it was like. No, it was, you know, I kind of like slowly pushed through it, but I was like, it was one of those ones where I was like, I'm going to finish it because I finished everything. But then once I got like 3 episodes in, I was like genuinely hooked, and I like the whole season. So it's on my top 10. Right. Game of Thrones we talked about is both of our number 2s. My number 1, and this is like the only reason I almost forgot about it because I feel like it came out in 2016, but it actually didn't end until 2017, so it's on my list. The Leftovers is my favorite show of all time by like a mile. Have you seen it?
Man, I think I watched the first episode once.
Just episode 1, season 1?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, I was like, all right, interesting concept. Maybe I watched the second episode.
I will say, and we don't have to. I'm not trying. It's enough of a niche show where I've like stopped trying to convince people to watch it. And it's over, so I don't really care. It's not like I'm not trying to save it or anything. But it's like pretty agreed upon that it gets better and better. Whereas like, yeah, season 2, I like season 1 in its own weird, dark way. Season 2, it found more of its footing. And then season 3, I literally thought was like a flawless season. Like I cannot talk, like we talk about this a lot, but I feel like you're more the movie guy and more the TV guy as far as like what our preferences are. And I watch a lot of TV shows, and The Leftovers, it's not even close. It's like by far my favorite show of all time. Loved it. And I think season 3 was the best, to the point where I was like nervous because I've been disappointed by finales of shows. I was like nervous going into the finale. I'm like, please don't fuck this up, basically. And then I was watching it, and it just threw, like, as high as I set the bar, it exceeded it. Loved the finale, loved everything. Like, it's literally my favorite show. So I cannot recommend it enough. But
I'll go back and try to check it out. I just I don't have HBO at the moment, so
I will also. It's only 3 seasons too. It's another little pitch for people who want to. But I think for the most part, people who are, I remember being frustrated up to like episode 4 or 5 because it's just they keep building mystery, but just like trust me, it pays off. And then what happens is like I feel like people either don't watch it or they watch like a little bit and didn't like catch them or whatever. But once they commit to it, I feel like they love it and recommend it to everybody. That's been my experience with it. But I love that show. So
I trust you. All right, you want to do movies?
Sure.
Let's do it. All right, so let's same format. We're gonna go 10 to 6.
Now this is just a quick, as I said at the beginning, we only crossed over on I think Logan.
2. No, that's right. One show.
I think just one, and like otherwise it's all complete. And even TV, we're like separate, which is good. I mean, it's just more shows to recommend to you guys, but that's pretty crazy. I mean, there's not that many movies that come out, so like the fact that we didn't share our list with each other or whatever, all of a sudden we only have one in common. No. Great one, by the way. I love Logan. But go ahead, you can start with 10.
All right, I'm gonna get slack for that, or I'm gonna get not slack. Cut me slack. I'm gonna get flack. I'm gonna get flack.
You're gonna get flack.
I'm going to get flack
and they
for
need
this,
to cut you slack.
They need to cut me slack.
Right,
but I'm going to go 10, Atomic Blonde. One of my favorites of the year. Charlize Theron. The dude who directed John Wick, I think. David Leitch, is that right? Yep.
It is. Yeah, I didn't know. I didn't know he directed Atomic Blonde, but
James McAvoy, John Goodman, Toby Jones, and the chick from The Mummy. What more can you say? I mean, it's just, I'm a sucker for Cold War spy drama. I love it. It had incredible fight scenes, badass chicks, beating the shit out of people.
Are you excited, by the way, not to deter from this, but are you excited for the Jennifer Lawrence movie coming out? Red Sparrow or whatever?
I am excited.
I'm excited for that. Like you just said, you like Cold War spy drama. I feel like that's what that is. I'm excited for that. It looks great.
Oh yeah. What are they? I mean, I'm interested to see kind of how physical they have that, but some of the trailers for that Red Sparrow look pretty.
The trailers are cool. Like that's like what hooked me is I'm watching, like I'm going to the like movies to see whatever. Like I think I just saw I, Tonya, which we'll get to that.
There we go. We're going to talk about that in a little bit.
Yeah, so I just saw that, and then they had the trailer for Red Sparrow, and I was like, this just looks badass. Like, I need to see this movie.
Number 9, another favorite, The Killing of a Sacred Deer. No one saw this movie, but it is absolutely insane.
I feel like you almost talked me out of seeing this movie.
Yeah.
You were saying, like, it's, like, real. You're like, I don't know. But I like The Lobster, and you said it's the same weirdness. So, yeah
if you're down for The Lobster, you'll probably be down for this. I mean, it's... I feel like my review almost spoiled too much, so I don't want to give anything away, but basically it's this super creepy, just the whole feel of the movie is super uncomfortable, creepy, and it has an incredible kind of payoff at the end, which is just weird. It's just a very strange movie. I absolutely loved it. You'll never want to see it again, but I would say at least try to watch it once.
And that's okay. I'm not like rushing to watch The Lobster again either, but
no, exactly.
It doesn't mean that I'm glad I watched it. It was like
you can appreciate it. Yeah, you'll appreciate it for what it is, but you won't you won't enjoy it. I mean, you know what I mean? It's like, I've seen Jumanji, and you're like, yeah, all right. Like you can kind of have fun, but it's not on my top 10 list. You know what I mean?
Right. Did you like that, by the way?
What, Jumanji?
Yeah,
dude.
I kept hearing it was like surprisingly good.
I mean, it's like, listen, I think my parents for my birthday gave me two gift cards to Alamo Drafthouse for like $25 each or something. And I was like, you know what? Let's use these, let's go buy some $7 alcoholic milkshakes and go watch a Turn Your Brain Off movie. You know what I mean? So that's what, Ash and I did probably, like a couple of weeks ago, maybe 2 weeks ago or something. Yeah, we just went to Alamo Drafthouse, ordered a bunch of food, didn't get drunk on their alcoholic milkshakes, and just kind of watched Jumanji. I mean, it is what it is. You know what I mean? It's. I will say that Jack Black is pretty great in it. Nice. Kind of as the a girl trapped in a man's body kind of a thing. He's great. The cast is great. I mean, it's the perfect kind of like, I'm just going to turn my brain off and just watch this. You know what I mean? So I was talking to Volpe today, and he's like, how is I was telling him about this because we're going to go catch Phantom Thread on Friday. And he was like, oh, how is Jumanji? And I'm like, let me tell you something. When you're getting like semi-buzzed on milkshakes and you're just kind of picking through some French fries and a cheeseburger, and you're just kind of it's on in the background. Yeah, it's fine. You know,
By the way, I
wouldn't
feel like The Rock is actually charming in like a lot of movies. Like I don't know if that's like a controversial thing to say as like someone who's trying to do reviews and stuff, but like I think if that's what you're looking for, like a shut up your brain movie, The Rock's great. Like I think he's good in like most of the stuff he does.
Rock's, yeah, I mean he really stretches his range in this movie, as a guy who just is strong and runs and shit. He's just The Rock. I mean, he's the same dude in every goddamn movie.
It's true.
And if you're fine with that, then you'll enjoy yourself.
Yeah.
You know, he's not Will Smith out there running around. You know what I mean? This isn't Pursuit of Happiness or something.
I want to talk about Bright. By the way, we can do that after. So continue with your. I'm just curious about that. What your
Number
take is.
8.
Yep.
Number 8. 3 Billboards. Have you seen this yet?
No. So the two like big movies that were in theaters that I didn't see was this and with Lady Bird, and like I meant to see them both and didn't see either yet. I will.
If you can see, I don't know, man. I've seen both, and
well, I know that only one's on your list. So
yeah, well, yeah. Sorry, Lady Bird. Yeah. 3 Billboards, dude. Yeah, and I mean, it's, everyone seems pissed off that it's doing as well as it is. I don't know why.
I thought that was expected for the most part.
What?
That it was gonna like do well at the Golden Globes and like all this stuff and whatever. Oscars.
I think people are upset that like Sam Rockwell's character, like Sam Rockwell. This is an interesting thing. It's an interesting concept that I don't know that people are upset that the portrayal of a racist piece of shit cop is winning awards.
Oh, that's what it is. See, I didn't even know. I think that's who he the plays. Problem. Yeah, really.
Yeah, so he's just an asshole local cop.
So he's he probably that means he's a good actor then. Like, so it seems like that should get rewarded in an award show. But people are pissed.
Yeah, that's that like his role is getting like he did well in this role. I think that's what I think. I don't know. I haven't really I haven't dug into the criticism, but I think that's it. Or maybe things that didn't get acclaim that they're pissed Lady Bird didn't win. I don't know. I don't know.
Did you ever watch Detroit, by the way?
No.
Because there's the kid from, from Meet the Millers or whatever.
Sure.
Like, that kid plays like the racist cop in that. And I feel like he was nominated for some stuff. I don't think he won anything, but that kid's not a racist. He's an actor, and he did a good job. You know what I mean? Like people shouldn't be mad that he's getting acknowledged for doing a good job acting like a racist in the context of a plot. Like whatever. Will
Poulton, is that his name?
I think so. That sounds super familiar.
So he was the one. He was originally supposed to be Pennywise.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, I can see that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably
weird.
Would have been pretty damn creepy.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got a weird face.
Skarsgård did great, but yeah, no, I can see that.
I don't know what happened. He fell out of it, or they changed directors, or he left when they changed directors, and then they went with Andy Musameshi or whatever his name is.
I don't know.
All right, I'm moving on from 3 Billboards. 7, Logan. So this is the only. I think it's you ranked it higher or lower.
I had an 8.
Yeah,
which is even that's weird. The fact that we didn't talk at all and it's just like pretty much the same spot in our list is just weird considering everything else is different. But I saw Logan on a plane ride home from Spain in like August, and I thought it was awesome.
That's not a fair experience.
I mean, I rank it the same as you.
I saw it in a cinema, my friend.
I know. What do you want me to do? I don't know. I didn't watch it. It's already on a plane, but I watched it and I loved it. That is almost, to be fair. Now, obviously, you had the better experience with the entire whatever, the surround sound, all this stuff. But you are also intensely focused. Like, what else am I doing? I'm like locked into the seat, flying home. Like, so I'm intentionally focused, not talking to anybody, like sitting and watching it. So I don't know. It was great though.
All right, Logan. All right, I'm number 6.
7. No. Wait, that was your 7. Never mind. Go ahead.
You're really.
I'm throwing you off.
You're killing me.
I know.
The Shape of Water, number 6. Have you seen this?
Yet to see it because it's literally not showing anywhere near me. Like I can't. I literally sought it out. Can't find it. Like I'd have to try to find it illegally or something. But it's in like such limited theaters.
I thought you were like out like 20 minutes out of the city.
Hartford. I don't know. It's not showing in Hartford. So I don't know. Hartford's like not a city. So I'm 10 minutes out of Hartford, an hour and a half out of Boston, 2 hours out of New York. Like, yeah.
Wow. No. Okay. All right. No, I'm putting it together now. Yeah, that sucks.
Yes, I can't. Well, I'm very excited about it. I mean, this is like a lot of people's movie of the year, and it's supposed to like clean house at all the award ceremonies. It did well at the Golden Globes, right? Won a bunch of stuff, and it's like I definitely want to see it. I've heard great things about it. It's just, I mean, I can try to find it illegally, or I can just wait. So at this point, I'll probably just wait. But yeah, I do want to watch it badly, and I literally sought it out, couldn't find it.
Well, when you go to LA, go see it.
True.
I'm sure you'll be able to find it.
That's true. I'm actually going to Boston this weekend, but
yeah, that's close to. I guess that's close to civilization. I guess, you know what I mean.
There's got to be a theater in Boston showing The Shape of Water, but we'll see.
It's good, you know what I mean. I don't think Michael Shannon is kind of getting enough credit.
I love him
because it's just peak Michael Shannon. You know what I mean. It's just him just being crazy and screaming.
I heard an interview recently
intense.
where someone was talking about Michael Shannon and how he got like kicked off some set because he was too weird. It was like before he was like the Michael Shannon, and he was like out there, and they're like, "Hey, what happened to that guy?" And it's like he's just too weird. We couldn't work with him, and they like kicked him off a set, which like Jesus. I fully believe. Like I feel like he would just weird people out. He's an amazing actor, but now it's like he's known. I think if he's just some random guy, and you're like, dude, I don't know, this guy's weird. Let's get him out. Like
I want to know everything about him. You know what I mean? Like he's just a freaking fascinating dude. He did you see? One thing I just recently learned is that he is in Groundhog's Day.
Nope. I've seen Groundhog's Day. I had no idea. Who
right.
Did he
so
play
he's the young man who gets married. Who he's like the guy that just got married to the other young chick that like thanked Bill Murray for saving their wedding or doing something with their wedding.
Yeah.
If
it's been a while. That does sound
It's been a while. But he's in it, and he's unrecognizable. He doesn't even look like him. I'm like, what?
Well, I mean, I obviously, like, my first real introduction to him was Boardwalk, and then I've seen him in other stuff. He's in 8 Mile, he's in like a bunch of random other stuff. But
99 Homes is another crazy one that's like underrated, but just kind of peak Michael Shannon, and
arguably his best performance for Funny or Die when he read the Angry Story Girls letter.
Incredible. Yeah. That's basically what the movie is.
Performance.
That's basically the movie.
Yeah.
Him just yelling, like him just kind of being super intense.
Awesome.
It perfectly kind of captures like Guillermo del Toro's creepiness. Like it's not American, you know what I mean? It's like distinctly not an American sensibility.
Right.
That you can kind of like pick up. Like he's just weirdly like it's too. Yeah, you know, it feels European. I understand he's Mexican and everything like that, but it has a very kind of like European kind of art house feel to it. But then combined with Michael Shannon being like a government ex-military, you know what I mean, just being crazy. So it's a very weird combination, but it works.
How was the actress? I know she's nominated.
Who?
The
Sally Hawkins?
Yeah. I know she got like a nod, but
she was fine. Like I think for my money, and we'll talk about it later, but I think Margot Robbie had the best female performance that I saw, and then Frances McDormand, Sally Hawkins, they're all kind of up there, but and then everyone's talking about Lady Bird.
Who won the Golden Globe again? Was it Lady Bird?
For Best Actress, Frances McDormand. She got up there like a gangster.
Right. Her speech was great, too.
She won for drama.
Right. Oh, yeah. That's sweet. By the way, we can get into this, but the Oscar, I almost think the category is more reflective of my top 10, but I almost think the category for Best like comedy/musical is like a tougher category than drama this year. Like there's like a lot of like steeper, really good dramas in the comedy category. It's weird.
Yeah. No, Frances McDormand is a gangster, but she just kind of played Frances McDormand like in a way, you know what I mean? Kind of like Margot Robbie like transformed into this like you forget you're watching Margot Robbie. You forget you're watching the hot chick from Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah,
you're not watching Harley Quinn. Like you totally kind of buy in that you're watching this character instead of kind of an actress.
Right.
That's it for me. All right. So what's your
go to my 10 again?
Top 10. Yeah.
So, my number 10 was kind of a weird one. It got recommended to me around, which is annoying too because the trailer here says 2016, but it was in. This is another sort of weird stipulation we could talk about. It was released in 2017, like to mass audiences, but it was in like film festivals and stuff in 2016. So what does that count as?
Whenever it hits Netflix, you know what I mean? I'm kind of
so that was 2017. Even like it's a European release too, and it was released even in Europe in theaters in 2017. So I'm counting it.
That's fine.
But it was I saw it around Halloween because I'm always looking for I just like watching scary movies around that time, obviously. And it's on Netflix, and it's this movie Raw, which I love. Like, it's literally it just the visuals of it, the music, the thing was so weird. And the whole thing's kind of a coming of age story, but it's also mixed with cannibalism and kind of like a weird spoof on a zombie thing. And it was just it was great. I just really, really liked it. It stuck with me. Except my roommate made me a beet salad. I think I might have read this in my review or something. She made me a beet salad during it. Just before she was leaving, she's like, "Oh, I made extra if you want some." And it's just a bowl of bloody looking. And I was literally watching this chick eat people, and I was like, I don't think I can eat this goddamn beet salad right now. So I ruined that. But besides that, I have no complaints. I loved it. I thought it was great.
So just give it a quick rundown, because it's basically about this French student who goes to veterinary school, but she goes away. It's like going to medical school.
Yes, so it's it's almost like she's going to college or something for the first time, and she has
a dorm. There. She has a roommate, a dorm. It's like college.
Yep, and she has an older sister that was already there as an upperclassman. She's been there for a few years or whatever, and it's on surface level, it's a coming of age story. It's she's her sister invites her to a party and she likes this boy or whatever, but then the symbolism is also her developing almost a sexual appetite for the first time or whatever is really her wanting to eat people too. So there's obviously a lot of symbolism there of going through all these changes, but there's almost funny parts too, and it's basically this I can't I can't really say anything else. There's some spoilers if I was gonna keep talking, but it's it was more the visual appeal of it. It was a very cool visual movie. The colors they played with, the symbolism's there. The acting was really good. I thought the main girl was awesome. Yeah, I don't. It's just good. It just stuck with me. It was I got a lot of my friend Nate recommended a bunch of just maybe horror movies I hadn't seen yet or whatever. There's another a good one about this Satan guy who was paint. I forget what that one was called. It was cool.
I don't even know if I would call it a horror movie. It's kind of a weird thriller. Raw? Yeah.
I didn't know you watched it.
Oh, I've seen it. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I didn't know. Yeah, it's horror movie's not right, but it is Halloween-ish. You know what I mean? It's still had
it's disturbing. It's
zombie
gross,
themed, violent, right? I don't know.
It's on
man.
Netflix, people.
Yeah, the random scene, and this isn't a spoiler, but there's clips actually online. The scene where she's getting ready for that first party and she's dancing in the mirror.
Right.
They're playing that really weird rap song. It's all subtitles, but it's about killing people and having sex. The whole thing is so weird, but you see her posture change. It's just well acted. I don't know. It stuck with me. I liked it. Moving on, number 9. This is another kind of a weird Netflix one, but it was awesome. If you haven't had a chance to see this, I Don't Feel at Home in This World Anymore. So it's starring Melanie Linsky, who's from what's the name of that HBO show? Togetherness with Mark Duplass, which is actually a very underrated show anyway. That's a great show. But Elijah Wood is the sort of co-star of it. It's a funny dark comedy, but it was really funny. The jokes landed hard. And I thought it was great.
This I have not seen. Yeah, no, this I have not had a chance.
And I would recommend it. It's fun. It's a fun watch as a movie, so it's fast. It's not you're committing to a series. It's fun, man. It's Elijah Wood almost plays a Napoleon Dynamite type guy who does karate and offers to protect this girl, but she's kind of the dry straight man and the comedy duo. It's hard to I don't know. It's kind of hard to explain, but it's a heist movie, but it's funny. Give it a shot. It's definitely worth it. Number 8, Logan. Talked about it already. Number 7, John Wick Chapter 2. If you haven't seen either of these movies, I would highly recommend it. John Wick is a shut off your brain movie to me, but it's also so visually appealing. The plot's simple, but it's just literally you're watching a work of art basically with the way the action scenes are choreographed and everything, and everything visually. It really is a beautiful movie. I love them, both of them.
I didn't care for this one as much.
Did you like the first one?
The first one I understood as a man with puppies.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So this one I was just they're just destroying this poor car. You know what I mean?
Get past that.
Nah, it was brutal, man. Yeah. It was brutal. I don't know what it was, a Shelby GT Mustang or something that they just murder.
Rolls over 100 times.
Ooh.
But my whole thing with I don't really care about it's the weird thing because it's on my top 10, but I don't really care about the plot of either of them. It's almost just whatever the plot.
I don't even remember the plot of the second one. Yeah, exactly.
He thought he was out and he gets pulled. I don't. It doesn't even matter. Like to me, I thought the plot of the first one was like they killed my dog, so I'm gonna murder 1 million people. Like the plot was never really a factor for me. I just love watching. It's like just the way it was choreographed. Which this actually reminds me of. Have you ever seen Hannah?
Yeah.
That's another movie where it's like I don't really even care about the plot. It was just so like the fight scenes are so well choreographed. That's the one similar to John Wick, but with less special effects, where it's like those really long shots where I'm like, this is just well done. Like the scene in Hannah where they're going over the all the 18-wheeler like storage units or whatever, and like the camera doesn't cut away, but it like pans up and she's jumping, and then it like spins around and someone's going like the way the whole thing is done with these long shots. It was brilliant. Like it's the same thing where it's like I almost don't care about the plot. It was like I feel like I was just watching like art.
So this same team, I think, did David Leitch do the second one too?
Yeah.
Or did someone else do it?
Nope. It's the same team.
So they're doing Deadpool 2.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
That's cool. I like the first one. So it's basically that with like better choreography or whatever. Yeah, it's cool.
And more money, yeah. So.
Cool. And then number 6 for me, it's actually something I watched like really late in the year. I just like ended up renting it, but A Ghost Story I thought was awesome. Really slow, like really very slow. But but I don't know what, and it's it's one of those. I feel like I don't know. It's more like it stuck with me after it was over, and I was like looking back and like just like the concept of like time passing and how it doesn't like mean like the scene where the dude's talking. There's like one scene because basically. It's a ghost story, and then he kind of travels through time and sees the whole history.
Just tread lightly on this one because not a lot of people have seen it. It's on Amazon Prime, people. Right. But yeah, just tread lightly because I guarantee you this one.
Oh, I'm sure.
I haven't even been able to finish it yet. I'm going to attempt to finish it on my 3rd try.
Let me just ask you this: did you get to the pie scene?
I have gotten to the pie scene. I think I'm about that one. I don't mind because it's gotten so much attention.
Yeah.
But,
did you know it was coming then? Because I didn't.
Yeah, I already knew about it. That was the problem.
I didn't. So I was just watching it blind, and I was like, "Holy shit! It's been like 25 minutes. Like, what's going? Like, it's not that like."
Yeah, this isn't a spoiler because there's been a lot of publicity around this, and it doesn't really affect anything. But yeah, there's like I want to say it's literally like I'm not like 1 Mississippi. 2 Mississippi. There's literally like a 7-minute long.
Yeah, it's like we can just say it's Rooney Mara eating an entire pie.
Eating an entire pie.
So it's going to take a while, and no camera doesn't cut away. She just eventually
just a seamless shot. And apparently the word was that she had never had pie.
What?
Before doing this, because she just didn't grow up eating a lot of pie.
I don't eat a lot of pie, but like how have you never had pie? That's
I'm
crazy.
Trying to remember I'll Google it right now, but I'm trying to remember Rooney Mara eating pie. Rooney Mara.
When I literally watched it, not knowing anything about this movie, so I got to that scene where she's just eating a whole pie, and it takes a long time. Like it's really drawn out, and there's symbolism and whatever if you want to get into that. But
okay, so W Magazine. This is the headline. 31-year-old Rooney Mara just ate pie for the first time and will never eat pie again.
Oh my god. I think pie's overrated, by the way. I'm not, but which is fine. But have you never even had it? You never even tried pie? That's the craziest. This is just news to me. Breaking news. I did not know Rooney Mara had never eaten pie. That's a whole new wrinkle to this crazy scene.
Now, this says it's a 5-minute single take pie eating scene. It seems twice as
like
long.
It's 25 minutes. Like legit. I remember watching it and like I said, I didn't know what's coming. So then I after it was over at that scene, I Googled like, this has to be a thing, and I Googled it, and there's like a million articles written about it. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, this is like a famous scene in this movie, because it's just so long. Apparently, the director told her to eat as much pie as she could, or something. So she ended up eating the whole thing, and then she like runs in the bathroom and throws up. And it's supposed to be like this symbolic thing of depression and whatever, but it's like, I mean, it's so wild. That just felt like such a film student like choice, where it was like, eat the whole pie. We're not going to cut away. Like it just felt like it was wild. But anyway.
She talked to. She was, I'm reading this article. I just don't really have a sweet tooth. And I was really, really strange, picky kid, which something about pie always grossed me out. And I just never tried it before. And this came along and I tried making them switch it to something else. But David really wanted it to be pie. So we did pie.
What a wild. Well.
And let's see. She did not like the pie. She did not like the pie at all. It was some disgusting sugar-free, gluten-free, vegan chocolate pie. It was really gross.
Ugh. Well,
so, give your girl some props.
She should get an Oscar for that. It was unbelievable what she had to do with method acting.
And then she probably really did throw it up.
Oh, I'm sure. No, they said she did. Said she ate as much as she could, ate the entire pie, which, by the way, feels like it takes forever, but it's also, it doesn't really take that long. She eats an entire pie pretty fast. And
she ate pie faster than I've ever eaten a pie.
Right. I've never eaten a full pie in one sitting. And she like got up and literally threw up. Like in this scene, it's like, it's real. They didn't say, they were explicit with her, like, you don't have to throw up. But she did. She really committed to that. Anyway, I like her anyway. So it's just a good, and by the way, that one song is like a song in the middle that like, Casey Affleck like plays for her or whatever. That song is just a great song, independent of the movie. People should look that song up.
So is that really him doing it? Like,
I don't. Yeah, it's in the movie. It's the character writes it.
The character wrote it.
But Casey Affleck didn't write it. Yeah, it's like an existing song. But in the movie, it's like,
I thought he was like a wannabe musician though. No?
In the movie.
No. But in real life, I thought.
I
Casey
don't know.
Affleck
Yeah, but
no?
maybe. But it's not. I looked up the band or whatever. It's like some other band. Some band wrote. I think for the movie. But anyway, it's great. It's just a good song. I wish I could think of the name of that. I'll look that up. But we're on to you anyway, so I'll look that up, and then you can start with number 5 for you.
Number 5 for me, Spider-Man: Homecoming.
Yep, saw that in theaters. Actually, I loved it.
Yep, I saw that in theaters. My favorite take on Spider-Man in ages. You know, I'm just tired of seeing like old dudes play Spider-Man.
Right.
You know, just Tobey Maguire. He was too old. He was just too old and just kind of unlikable in a way. I don't know. He was just pathetic.
Yeah, how about when he was cool walking down the street snapping his fingers?
Oh my god,
that was one of my favorite scenes of like movie history.
I remember I saw it in the movie theater.
Me too.
And I'm like, what were you, like 5?
No, you're not that much older than me. I feel like you act like you're 100 years old, but you're not.
Basically, no. I'm like mentally wise, like 100.
How old are you?
I'm 30.
Okay,
31. I just turned 31.
All right, and I'm turning 28 in like 2 months. Or 3 months, so that's not. We're talking about like a 3-year difference. It's not like.
When did that come in? Was I in college? I'm trying to remember. Yeah,
I think I was in high school. Well, I think I was like a senior, junior, or something. The third one, maybe I might have been in college.
No.
All right, I don't know. That's
right,
easy enough to look up. But continue.
Yeah, no, I mean, what are you gonna say? Spider-Man.
2007. I was in high school.
I don't dig a lot of the Marvel movies. You know what I mean? Some of them are good. Some of them are just hit and miss for me. A lot of them are like too cheeseball. I thought this kind of nailed it. You know what I mean? Kind of like the perfect amount of kind of like just got the character. You know what I mean? Of kind of like, you know, in high school. Looks like a kid in high school dealing with high school bullshit. You know what I mean? It's a little bit changed because he's kind of at like a quasi charter school. You know, one of these kind of like the smart kid public schools, which I didn't, you know, I think we had one in my area, but I was just, you know, I was kind of blown away. Like that dynamic of kind of these interesting schools. And I thought it was a bold choice because it's a weird to see like a bully that's like in one of these kind of better schools. You know what I mean?
Instead of being like the trash kid or whatever from town.
Right. They kind of move away from the kind of jock bully. Right. So it was an interesting take, which I appreciated. Enjoy him. Like Michael Keaton in it. Michael Keaton is a killer.
Yes.
All right, moving on to number 4. I was like, I had this low. I, Tonya.
Do you regret that now?
No,
we'll see what
really.
Your top 3 are, but it seems like the way I feel like you almost talk about it like it's near would be closer to the top of your list.
I just think she did such a great job. It had a lot of great performances. Even Sebastian Stan, who is the Winter Soldier in Civil War, and
yeah,
that's him. So he's Jeff Galooly.
Yeah, I never made that connection. Because he's obviously a completely different character. So it's
totally.
A lot of people are playing different characters. We just talk about Margot Robbie. Yeah, it's weird. He's almost unrecognizable too because he's not like a badass. He's like almost like a beaten down loser.
Yeah, and then Allison Janney's in it. She's incredible. As kind of the horrible mom. Like she's gonna get, you know, I think she might be the runaway winner. And I don't know. I thought Roby did the best job, but I don't know if she has the best chances of winning. Whereas I think people are kind of like, yeah, Janney looks pretty good. Like she looks like pretty damn poised to win that one. You know.
Right. So I wasn't on my list. I didn't watch it until I think this weekend. It was the most recent week. I watched it like a few days ago or whatever. I loved it. It was awesome. I thought it was really good. And I think, you know what's weird? I don't know if you saw this, but Tanya Harding like came out and said that she like knew about the attack the whole time or something, like in a talk show?
I think she was like trying to kind of drum up some
or whatever. Yeah,
like,
but
she came out with
like smart because it's like the one time that publicity is going your way. Well, how would you? I don't know, man. I think she's definitely got some skeletons in her closet, but it doesn't take away from the movie because the movie is very clearly based on the interviews from them. So I hear that criticism a lot too, where they like make Tanya Harding to look like too much of like a victim or a good guy or whatever. But it's like, I don't know if they did. I think I think they played her pretty, like, honestly, it's definitely telling her side of the story, but like, I don't know. And the whole thing is silly. Like it's like a figure skating. The freaking Nancy Kerrigan like skated in the Olympics. So it's not even like the whole thing is like, it's not like we're talking about murder here. People take it so seriously, but I don't know. Yeah.
Well, Nancy Kerrigan still made it to the podium, but she, who knows if she could have gone for the gold had she not been.
Looks like she stepped in poo.
Knee barred. Yep. Exactly. Yeah. Just Greg Gillespie. Greg. I always screw that one up. Number 3, Baby Driver for me.
Yeah. That actually, I kind of forgot about it until I saw it on your list, but I saw that and I like that a lot too. Are you a big Kevin Spacey fan?
Oh, man. Less or so, maybe now. I don't know. Yeah. Like the stuff about Kevin Spacey.
I literally just saw you put gas before. I didn't even notice that till now. Yeah.
What?
Pretty good. I just saw like in your review. Yeah. It's funny.
No, I mean, he sounds like a scumbag, but like people like, I don't know, like I've heard stuff about Kevin Spacey for a long time. Like this is like one of those like non-secrets kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I knew about Harvey Weinstein. Like people talk about that stuff. You know what I mean? Like I've heard those stories. You know what I mean? It was kind of just like oh yeah, Kevin Spacey, I mean, the same thing with the Bryan Singer stuff. Like, oh yeah, his weird like twink parties that he was throwing and stuff.
Right.
It's a weird thing. I was like, all these things that like I'm like a schlub, and I knew of these stories. So
well, it wasn't even like what's his name? Seth. Who's the guy from Family Guy?
MacFarlane.
I thought Seth Meyers, Seth Rogen. I was just like running through the sets. Yeah, Seth MacFarlane. Like, it was like, look at how brilliantly Seth MacFarlane's been like taking stabs at Harvey Weinstein for years or whatever. But it was like he was doing it in like award shows, like hosting award shows. Like it's like really not subtle. So it's obviously a known thing.
Yeah, because he would get in front of like his audience, which is all kind of Hollywood people, right? And then he would attack like Harvey Weinstein and make jokes, like when they're all kind of like we all know. Yeah, it's like darker for them,
Right.
Yeah, dude. I don't know, but back to I guess Baby Driver. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, and I don't know. I almost felt like it was more of an achievement of like Edgar Wright and Ansel Elgort, because a lot of the acting is kind of weird to me. You know what I mean? Like if you go back and watch it the second time, you're kind of like, I don't know. The acting in it isn't great. I really enjoyed the movie as a whole. But like John Hamm, Jamie Foxx, like their characters aren't great. John Bernthal, like they kind of overact almost in all these scenes.
Right.
So, I enjoyed kind of maybe the styling more and the writing a little bit and his take on that character and kind of the action sequences and some of and the writing I really enjoyed, you know what I mean? So, but there's a lot of parts of Baby Driver that, don't really land for me, I don't think, but still made it pretty damn far on my list.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with that. I think that it's definitely stylistically a really cool movie. Just the way they play with music and like in the action sequences, everything. It was cool. But
yeah, I'd never seen that, the way that he kind of used music.
Like shooting guns to like the beat of the song and stuff like that. Like the whole thing like choreographed perfectly with the rhythm of the song, all that. Yeah, it was cool.
Number 2, you know it, you love it. That Blade Runner 2049.
Now that's something I've heard. I've heard such good things about it, but it's so long. It's just like that little extra hiccup where it's like, oh, I'll watch that another time. And I keep pushing it back, but like that's absolutely on my list. I absolutely want to watch it. I like Ryan Gosling. I hear the plot's great. I don't know. It's just so long. It's taken like a little extra push that I haven't quite got over that hump yet. But talk to me about it. Convince me.
I don't think it's longer than Star Wars though. I think Star Wars like was about the same length. Everyone talks about how long it is.
Yeah.
It's like Star Wars was like 2.5 hours. So was, let me see.
So Blade Runner is
20. Look up Last Jedi running time.
All right.
Okay, Blade Runner's 2 hours 44 minutes.
All right, and Star Wars is 2 hours and 32 minutes.
So there you go.
Similar.
Everyone's talked about how long Blade Runner is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Ugh, brutal. It was so good. It was so good, and then just no one went to go see it. Ugh.
They're doing a sequel though, right?
No, man.
I thought I heard they were.
You've been reading the site?
Huh?
You've been reading
the disorderly.com?
Reading the disorderly.com? I
Yeah,
think
of
I wrote
course,
about it
every
2
day.
days ago, yeah.
Yeah.
Stay up to date, kids. No, Denis Villeneuve was like, you know, if they'll pay for another one, I'll make it. Basically, you know what I mean? If like that's the thing. You know, there's, you know, it's crazy because I linked back to literally opening day. I think it was October 7th, and there's an interview where they were speaking with, I think, Metro, and it's Denis Villeneuve, the screenwriter, and Harrison Ford, and they're all like, yeah. Like, we're rearing to go. I think there's a lot we could do with a third movie and blah, blah, blah. Oh, it's just brutal to read that in retrospect, you know what I mean, after all this. So,
Well, because you can't do like an indie version of it. Like, it has to have the money to be like a,
I don't know how
giant
you do
blockbuster.
it.
So
I don't know how you do it, but I mean, you know, if anyone could do it, it'd be a very cool movie to do. Like, it'd be a huge challenge. You know what I mean? Especially if they kind of they go off Earth. You know what I mean? As kind of like that was where things are kind of like developing. Maybe if they did like an animated third movie or something, that would be incredible. I don't know.
yeah, maybe.
But just give me more Blade Runner. Give me more Blade Runner.
Yeah.
All right.
Maybe we'll get like
Number
an HBO animated series like Watchmen.
Totally. Just, you know, that's such a cool universe to me. One of my all-time favorites. The first and the second one. So, number 1, Good Time.
Yeah, I was fascinated by this, by the way, because I still haven't seen that yet.
Have you seen anything about this movie?
I saw the trailer like a while back, and it looks cool.
Sure.
And then I heard that Robert Pattinson's like shockingly good in it. Not that he's not a good actor, 'cause I think he's good in other stuff too. He obviously gets lumped in with like the Twilight stuff or whatever. But like I heard that he like steals this show.
This is the best male performance of the year. Not even close.
And he won't get nominated for anything, right? It's like a small indie. Yeah.
No, he won't get nominated. I don't think he was even nominated at the Golden Globes. Maybe he was. I'm trying to remember.
I don't think so.
I mean,
I have no
this is
recollection
the
of
best.
him even being there. Like I don't think he was nominated.
I don't know who else is even in the running. I'm trying to think. Like, I cannot think of another performance where I was just like, oh yeah, Gary Oldman, I guess. Is that, you know, Gary Oldman is
He won, right?
you know, probably. Yeah, he won. Yeah. Gary's gonna win. I mean, this is Gary's year, you know. Yeah, get up there, Gary. You know.
Right.
I love Gary Oldman, but I'm devastated. Like Gary's just gonna get up there and you know the Brian Cox, you know, like the Brian Cox rule.
Elaborate.
Clearly, yeah. Okay, so like Brian Cox, famous actor, played Hannibal Lecter in the film Manhunter.
Right.
The next portrayal of Hannibal Lecter, Sir Anthony Hopkins.
You got knighted?
Right?
I don't think I knew that.
Yeah, I think so.
All right, go ahead.
I think he's not. I think he's a knight.
All right.
So he wins an actor. He won the Oscar for Hannibal Lecter. I think last year Brian Cox played Winston Churchill, and so he's like, "Here we go.
Right.
Gary Oldman's going to win it."
Right.
So Brian Cox, hang in there, buddy. Keep making films.
Always a bridesmaid.
Always a bridesmaid. So Pattinson, I hope that people kind of discover this and then really go back and look at it and things like that. And but damn, dude. I mean, you're like, are you? Like, it's so, you know, and I'm pissed that more people won't get the chance to like go to the movies and see this, like on the big screen with all the, you know, because it's a weird, like, super gritty, like, it's not a sci-fi movie or anything, but it's like, dude, I was literally like, only 2 movies did that to me all year, this and Mother, where the entire time you're like having an emotional experience.
Yeah, how did you feel about Mother, by the way?
No, actually, Killing of a Sacred Deer was close, but yeah, I didn't like Mother. I thought it was a little too
Convoluted.
Did I write about it?
I don't know.
I'm trying to remember.
I watched that was one movie where like I saw it in theaters by myself actually. And I just like went and watched it and I was like it's like the most sucked into a movie I've been in a long time where I was like, dude, what like at the end of the day it might have been like too much. It was almost like every single it's like, hey, there's like 45 different, symbolisms that you can throw into the meaning of this movie or whatever. So it's almost like too much. I get that. But like, I thought it was like extremely captivating to watch. So like overall, like I enjoyed my experience of going to see it. But
to me, it was a little too kind of ambiguous, and I think it would have made a better short, and it might make an interesting play. But just I wanted some. All right, well, what is the powdered drink she's drinking? What is this? What is that? What is doing this? Who is that?
You know what I mean? There's 45 different deeper meanings all thrown into one
weird
movie.
Little things thrown in. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I didn't enjoy it, but I went to go see it with Ash and Volpe, and both of them loved it. And I was just kind of like,
It's definitely polarizing.
It just, and then I don't want to get into it, but kind of the incident.
The controversial part.
Yeah, I was just like, all right, well, it's been real.
That's when you checked out.
Yeah, I was like, all right, well, any hope that this had of kind of turning it around for me, I was just like, nah. Yeah.
It did seem like he's like, this is going to be controversial and confusing. You figure it out. Like, it was like, all right.
Like, all right.
Yeah.
I mean, that's something you don't see in most movies. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, that's it. I think it was just like unlike anything I've seen. So like, it was crazy and definitely not perfect, but like I enjoyed it. I mean, it didn't make my top 10 either, but I enjoyed it.
Yeah, no, and it's another ambiguous, abstract, weird movie. Whereas I loved Killing of a Sacred Deer because I thought it was done so well. Where I thought Mother was kind of sloppy and like a fever dream and kind of
right.
What is Michelle Pfeiffer doing? What do they break? What do they like? It wasn't enjoyable to me. Like, in a different way. I don't know. Killing of a Sacred Deer was very strange and weird and unsettling, and so was Mother. But like, I really enjoyed one and really didn't enjoy the other. So I mean, I don't know. I guess it's just how it strikes you.
Yeah.
But go see Good Time.
I definitely will. Where can I find it? Is it still in theaters?
I don't know.
I'll Google
maybe.
it. I'll pay for it. Like, I don't mind like paying for stuff like that if I can like rent it on Amazon or whatever now. But it's worth telling people, I guess. So. Good time. Watch online. Looks like YouTube, Google Play, whatever. $5.
All right, give me your last 5 and let's get out of here.
All right. So number 5 for me. Gotta scroll up. Dunkirk. So I saw this in theaters. I actually don't think if you didn't see it in theaters or you're thinking about seeing it, like I'm not necessarily sure it would even be like enjoyable if it wasn't a theater. Like, it's hard to explain. Like, it was literally just like the huge landscapes and like, because it's a slow movie, but it just visually it was like. Oh, someone's calling me.
Well, man.
Yeah, blown up. It's a slow movie, but just like visually, it was like I don't know, just like not to overblow it, but like stunning. Like, I don't know how else to describe. Like, it was like just the way it was done. And like, did you see? No, never mind. Did you see? Because you posted on Disorderly. But that whole thing where they like reimagined it as a silent film, like that's like kind of what I'm saying. Where it's like, I don't know if you just watch this in your living room or your TV, if it would necessarily translate, because it was really like the epicness and the grandness of all the like imagery that like made it so good. Like, I thought it was great.
I saw it in like a near empty IMAX theater. Like,
that sounds like the perfect place.
Yeah, exactly. And I like dead center, like perfect seats, like,
and it, like,
at night.
It really built the suspense too. Like, when you're like watching those like really slow scenes and you're like, when they like, even like the slow, like there's just kids on a beach and they're like oh, they're coming back, whatever, like all those like slow scenes where you're like oh shit. Like, I feel like that actually had more of an impact on me than if I was watching like Black Hawk Down, where people were like come on, move, and like shooting, there's explosions everywhere. Like, that was like so much of a more like powerful image of like war, I felt like.
Yeah, no, I'd agree.
Yeah, I loved it. I saw it right before UFC Long Island. I was trying to kill like a few hours or something. I was with my friend and there's nothing around the Nassau Coliseum or whatever. Like, it was like, it's just like,
did you go to it or did you cover it?
I went to it as like a fan.
Cool.
Yeah, I just had podcast guests around, like Jimmy Rivera. They just, I don't know, but so yeah, I went to that. But yeah, so I just had time to kill randomly, some random theater in Long Island, watched Dunkirk, and it was great. So number 4, Creep 2. I think Creep 1's a lot better if you haven't seen either of these, whatever. Creep 1.
I've seen both now. Yeah, I think I watched Creep. It took me like 5 attempts to get through
the first one.
The first, like, half of the first one.
Yeah.
I was just like not feeling it. You know what I mean? But then it starts like ramping up and getting crazy, and then I I think I watched like the second half of Creep and then right into Creep 2.
Right. So I really like the way Creep 2 opens. I like it was an interesting follow-up. I can't really get too into any of this, but like it's an interesting follow-up. The whole thing is like he's like it's definitely like weird and suspenseful and intense or whatever at parts, but it's also like kind of funny and you kind of like the guy, which is kind of like Mark Duplass's whole appeal and everything he does. But I don't know. So I like that.
And they're making a third one, right?
Yes, they're making a third one, and that's it. Apparently, it's like going to be a open and shut like trilogy. That was a plan all along. I think they already are working on it or approved it or whatever. So yeah, there'll be a third one, and that'll be it. It'll be like a trilogy. So I don't know. Yeah, it should be good. Number 3, Mudbound. I actually think I wrote in my review that this is the best movie you can see this year, and obviously I have 2 ahead of it. But Mudbound I thought it was.
You blew up your own spot.
I know. Well, I'm nothing if not honest, you know. And there's a link to the review where I think it says that right below. But Mudbound was great. I thought it was really good. I liked. I mean, the whole thing. It was just like it's dark and bleak and it's got some pretty heavy material in there, as you can imagine. There's a lot of race relation type stuff in the American South. Like it's gonna be heavy, definitely intense, but really really good. And I thought it was like handled well, where they basically had like an honest portrayal of what the American South was like back then, where not everyone's like, it's not just like every like white guy's bad and every black guy's good, and like it's like you really get a mix of emotions of like all this stuff, and it seems like realistic, and there's people who are kind of torn based on their experiences in like the war and like all sorts of stuff, depression, poverty. They get into a ton of stuff, but it was really really good. I think they're getting some like a award buzz or whatever, but actually less than I thought. I thought this was going to be, I mean, people were even writing reviews about it like this is going to be Netflix's first like Oscar contender, and it might be for a few roles or whatever. I think Mary J. Blige is getting nominated for stuff.
Yeah. I think she at least got nominated for a Golden Globe.
Yeah, for like Best Supporting Actress or something, I think.
Right.
Which is obviously a big one, and if she gets that for an Oscar, great. I guess even the nomination, but I don't know. I think they should have had more awards. I think it was like really well done. The narration alone was really good.
Carey Mulligan didn't really get a sniff, right?
Right, and she was great, like really, really good in it. And then the guy, I can't remember his name, the guy who plays like the soldier that comes back from the war and like fought alongside black soldiers basically, and then so he has a different perspective of things, and like, but the world's not ready to accept that. Like that, it was like a like a Remember the Titans type like vibe or whatever. That character was the most complex, and I thought the best performance out of all of them. And he's also struggling, with coming back from the war and adapting back to civilian life, whatever. I don't think he got any nods either. I don't think.
Right.
He was for everyone I know who've watched this movie. I feel like that was everyone's like standout character. So I don't know. I'm not on the Academy, but number 2, and I think you have different opinions on this. I love The Disaster Artist. That was great. I thought it was like a really funny movie, and I went from not knowing. I went from not even seeing The Room, and then I watched I watched it on my own, just found it on YouTube or something, and then I watched it alongside you guys with the DVD commentary, which is great because I got all that insight that I wouldn't have known otherwise. And then I watched The Disaster Artist like all within a week, and I don't know, I loved it
so much. That's like Tommy Wiseau overload. That's a lot of Tommy.
And then I wasn't even that. I had heard of it like in passing. I'd never seen it before, so I wasn't. All of a sudden, like I was so deep in the world. I was watching like interviews with him because obviously a lot of stuff's coming out with The Disaster Artist. Where I was watching interviews with Tommy Wiseau, like old ones, new ones, whatever. Like I really dove in for a week. I went deep in the world of Tommy Wiseau, and or Wiseau. I don't know. So
well, certainly lost some of the sheen recently, with Franco. But I mean,
yeah. But it also, I don't want to get too, because the whole thing is going crazy. But it seems like the Franco thing, like, it just sucks that, because there's levels to this. From what I understand, like, it seems like it wasn't as blatant as like other stuff.
Easy, Matt Damon.
Yeah, exactly.
What are you talking about?
I don't know.
You see Matt Damon this week? Oh my god.
This week? No.
No, well, Matt Damon came out and has been like, "Oh, I should have never talked about it. I just shut my mouth, and I shouldn't. I regret ever saying anything and ever weighing in on it and all this." I'm like, "Damn, dude,
it's breaking people."
You know what I mean? I was like, well, you should come out and kind of say, like, if you feel people are being unfairly, whatever. But like, nope. People weren't ready for that, you know what I mean? I was like, oh, Matt Damon, get out there, But nope. People did not want to hear that.
There's so much crazy. Like even like the Aziz Ansari thing, it's like it sounds like he just like struck out on a date, but people, it's I don't know.
I couldn't even tell what happened. I was like, all right, Aziz. Look, I've heard stories that Aziz Ansari is just basically an asshole, like a complete asshole.
Yeah. But that's not the equivalent of like being like a rapist,
like a sexual predator,
right?
or
So
something.
it's like,
Yeah,
I don't know, man. It's a sensitive subject. So
I've seen more headlines about people freaking out about the story than actually what he did. So I haven't even followed.
Yes, I will say his whole thing. It came out like people mostly came on his side. Like, all right, like this is getting crazy because like he just like tried to like hook up with a girl, didn't force himself or anything. Tried to hook up with a girl after a date, struck out, and then she was upset that he didn't pick up on nonverbal signs or something. And I was like, okay.
I mean, we are getting to a point, dude, where I'm just like, yo.
It's getting crazy.
You know what I mean? I don't know. Are you allowed to say it's getting crazy?
I don't know. Yeah, I feel like that's what I'm saying. It's like, how dare you? Like, these people are all monsters. And it's like, all right, I don't know.
It's like, it might be like applying for college pretty soon. You know what I mean? We're like, hey, you know, I find you as a fascinating person. May I converse with you further? You know what I mean? Like, do I have, you know what I mean? I don't know, man. Like, we are going in some wild stuff.
So it's crazy times out there. So
it's crazy kids out there.
Moving on. Number one, Get Out. I think a lot of people had that as a top movie or whatever.
I have not even seen it still. I can't
loved
believe it.
I will say, because I think that it's getting so highly rated, and I did love it, and it came out like earlier in the year, so it's whatever. It was like early. I will say, for you to watch it, I would say like adjust your perspective a little bit, because like people are almost blowing it so far out of proportion, like it's the greatest movie you've ever seen in your life. So like I don't think it's that. I loved it. I put it as number one. I really liked it, but like
you haven't helped at all. You put it at number one.
But I know, but because it was my favorite movie this year. But people are saying like oh my god, like 100% Rotten Tomatoes, never seen anything like it. This is a genre defining movie. And it's like I liked it a lot. Like I think I still stand by it being the best movie of 2017 for me. But just adjust your perspective, because you know, like I don't want people to see it if they haven't seen it yet and then be disappointed because they're like, well, it wasn't as good as everyone was saying. Because if you just go in without expectations, it's an amazing movie, and it's actually one of those movies just with like, you know, plot twists and stuff. Like watching it the second time was almost more enjoyable than the first, I thought. So I loved it. That guy should win so many Oscars. Like that guy.
Who's that guy?
I know that's a terrible sign.
Jordan Peele or the lead actor?
The main actor. I gotta look it up now. Daniel Kaluuya, Jesus, Kaluuya, I think. How do you say that name?
I'm not looking at it, so I'm not even gonna attempt to.
Kaluuya. I don't know, but he's nominated. He got nominated for a Golden Globe. Didn't win, but I think he should. Like his performance is unbelievable. Like literally steals the show. So,
all right. Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen it. It's been pretty much ruined for me. So I mean, it's not one of those movies. You already know
like the twists and stuff.
Well, I mean, just I've listened to Jordan Peele like give like seminars and speak and talks about it. You know what I mean? So like, there's no real suspense for me. I mean, I like we're kind of at this point where people are just comfortable talking about in headlines like what happens in a movie.
Yeah, you have to watch it like opening weekend. You're never gonna see it.
Yeah, and I'm just like, yo. Just can you just not, you know? Can you just not? Can you just talk? You know, is it? I mean, like, listen.
To be fair, you are deeper in that world than like your average person would be, where you're going to see those headlines. Not that people
I can't even tell you how many hundreds of headlines I see every day.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I'm like, you know, they just started, you know, like a big one today. I just started seeing because there's a Walking Dead Carl story running around.
Yep.
About how upset what's his name is. Daryl Dixon, Norman Reedus. And I'm like, I thought they were still trying to kind of keep like big death stuff on Walking Dead like a secret. Nah. You know what I mean? It was just like headline, Norman Reedus really upset that they killed off Carl in Walking Dead. And you're like, whoa. Sorry, spoiler.
Yeah, I will not go back to that show. Like it's the only one. It's the one I'm going to stay strong on and not finish. But I guess other people might. I don't know. Anyway, all right.
Well, that's the list.
Yeah,
that's a lot of movies for a man who doesn't have the movie pass card.
Oh yeah, I know. That's a lot of the. If you notice, not to like peek behind the curtain, but obviously we can only review what we saw. I haven't seen every single movie that came out. I think mine are much more geared towards what is maybe available outside of theaters right now.
Because you're a young kid millennial. and that's how they're getting their movies these days.
I know I'm decades younger than you, so I'm sure that's why. But
I still go to the theater.
I love going to the theater. I go to the theater. I went to the theater this past weekend. I saw I, Tonya just late.
The stats came out. Did you see this story?
No.
It was like shocking headline. Ticket prices have never been more expensive, and there's never been less people going to the movies.
Yeah, that is actually. Is it just to make up for the fact that theaters need to run on somebody? Because it seems like they are always empty, which I prefer as selfish.
Breaking news, but economics,
right?
You know what I mean?
Yeah, crazy.
But listen. They're not paying me for the Movie Pass card changes your life because you don't. Like, I would have never gone to see Jumanji if I had to pay for it in the traditional sense of like, here's $15 times 2. I'm not gonna go see Jumanji, right. But I'm like, oh, here's my free movie of the day, basically. You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
No,
get it, kids.
Yeah, there you go. There's your lesson for the year. I guess.
There you go. Yep.
And then you can be like David and watch movies in theaters instead of on Netflix.
Absolutely. Me and the 6 other old people at Lady Bird were.
By the way, I prefer that. I like to go during the day. Like, I had Fridays off this whole summer. That'll never happen again. But it was like just this. I work with a construction company, and this construction company decided not to work Fridays this summer or whatever. So I had Fridays off. So I would go to movie theaters at like noon on Friday, and it would always be empty. And it was the greatest. Like, it was like the best movie theater experience. Like, I was literally in theaters by myself plenty of times, like just me, and it was fun. I enjoy watching movies like that. But yeah.
Well, there you go. Let's get Nick back in the theater in 2018.
Yeah. I mean, you explained that Movie Pass thing. It makes sense. I feel like I should get that, but
it doesn't make sense not to have movies. If you want to go see movies, it's $10 a month, and now they're like they've got their shit in gear, so you're actually not waiting like months on end. You know what I mean? Because in the early days of Movie Pass, they just when they first announced the price drop, you were waiting like months to get your physical card to actually be able to use it and go. But they got their shit together and they got so much money that they're like, oh, here you go, 2 weeks or a week, or your turnaround is nothing now.
And what is it you get? You get to go to like one movie per week or something? So
the deal, yeah, you pay $9. You basically subscribe to it. They send you a physical card with your name on it, and you use that to pay. You basically use a phone app to check into a movie. Like, you would go like on Fandango app, like select your movie, select your showing, and then hit check in, and then it's like, cool, go pay for your movie. You hand them the card. They go, cool, thanks for $15. It adjusts your balance to whatever the movie costs.
Right.
And then you just go watch your movie. You can watch one movie a day. And
one a day?
One a day.
Jeez.
So it's like, if you go to see one movie, it pays for itself in a month.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because every movie, if you see it after 6, you're going to pay like $12. So it no longer becomes a like conversation about money. It's about time. You know what I mean? Like, I can only see a movie on the Friday or something. You know what I mean? So like you're just it's not like, ooh, that's expensive. You don't think about the money. You just think about how you're going to allocate your time. You see way more movies that way.
Yeah, smart. Makes sense.
Go for it. That's my nugget of wisdom from an old man.
Yeah, this episode has been brought to you by Movie Pass. So
please send me one thing that was weird is they sent me an email it's a promotion, but it was like, if you see I, Tonya with Movie Pass, you could win like free Movie Pass for a year. Just go see this movie.
So it's like extra incentive to.
I'm like, I already saw it. Am I in the running or not?
That's true. Good point. Might have to go again.
Yeah, please pay me Movie Pass.
All right.
Send me. You're doing the Lord's work. As long as you're not selling my data to China or whatever.
Yeah, it might be worth it.
Yeah, still worth it.
All right. You want to? I guess that wraps it up.
That's it.
It's still
take us home.
Yeah. Well, you know what? We'll just keep it all in one episode. People can watch it in chunks. It saves your spot on YouTube. We're good.
Absolutely. Watch it in one go.
All right. And then I think I know I already recorded a little Black Mirror thing with my roommate, so that'll be a segment in the next episode. Yep. I think you said you're seeing Phantom Thread, right?
Yep. Volpe and I and Ash are probably going to do a little recording, so that's coming later in the week, probably maybe over the weekend, something like that.
Yeah, so probably expect that next week. This will be out. I mean, you're listening to it, but
you're listening to it right now.
This one's out now, and then the other one will be in a week or so. So, yeah, you want to just plug the social media and the website on that?
Go see or go to thedisorderly.com, however you found this. Subscribe, like us, love us, understand us.
Really sad. Like us, please. Yeah.
Give me a like on Facebook. We're at the Disorderly. Disorderly Ent is the username. Disorderly Media on Twitter. Disorderly Media on Instagram. Every follow counts.
All right. Tell a friend. Spread the word.
Tell a friend.
All right. It does it. Take it easy, guys.